Hi everybody, Sam here. It's just on our next blog, and my next guest is the lovely Allie Crewe, who I had the pleasure to work with when I was doing a project with Sam's Diamonds. We did a photographic session where our ladies got to bear their scars, and Allie was absolutely amazing, and she was empowering to our ladies, made them feel completely comfortable in the photographic session, that they all came out saying how wonderful she was. So she oozes empowerment. So I thought I'd get her on to do a little interview with you. So introduce yourself, Allie. Hello.
Hi.
Tell us about yourself.
I'm thinking, did we meet 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago.
2018, yeah. Well, I work full-time as a photographic artist. So I do some commercial photography, portrait type work mostly. For Sam's Diamonds, I did some nudes, didn't I? Which I do really love doing.
We used a wonderful calendar, didn't we?
Yeah.
And the girls just felt so empowered from it, just by being able to have the confidence to get their scars out. It was like, this is me.
Yeah.
And you really captured that, and very classically, may I say. It was beautiful.
Well, I wouldn't shoot women naked in a way that sexualized them, because I think that would go against my values. And I don't think women are there to be objects of the male gaze, really. You know, you can photograph women nude in a way that makes them feel empowered rather than objectified, really.
I agree, and I think what you actually did is you managed to allow the photographs for people to see that person and deep into that person, which I know you've done a lot of work with, and you capture it really well. Even the picture behind you, can you tell us a little bit about the picture behind you as well?
Yeah, so that's Grace, and she's part of a body of work of about 40 portraits of transgender people. I won Portrait of Britain with that one in August 2019, and it's Arts Council funded at the moment, because the book with a selection of the portraits in has just gone off to the publisher.
Yay!
I know, even in lockdown. It's my publisher, my PR people, the book designer, and one of my mentors. It turns out they all live in Chorlton, like 5 minutes away from me, so I keep cycling to their doorsteps and leaving packages. Yeah, so we've carried on, and we've been able to work remotely quite a lot, and yeah, it's been cool.
So what's the name of the book?
It will be You Brought Your Own Light, which is obviously, yeah, the name of the whole series.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm just starting the research now into a second series about domestic abuse. Yeah, I like to do cheerful things.
Just to keep your spirit high and stuff. But you know what? It's empowering, isn't it? You are empowering so many people by doing the projects that you do.
You've got to
look after yourself as well.
Yeah. So a lot of the people I work with are invisible, I think, aren't they? They don't have a voice, and I've been there. So when I do undertake projects that might last a year or two, you know, yeah, they're personal.
Yeah, I get that. And like I say, you're making people feel stronger about themselves. You're letting them be seen. So that in its own is like empowering to them themselves. What was it that first made you feel empowered and grow as a person to be able to do stuff like this?
So I was thinking about this question this morning. I woke up thinking about you, Sam. And I guess the pre-answer is, it's not one moment, is it, in a life. So I can remember a massive turning point when I was 13, and another one in my early 20s. When I was 27, I had really severe depression, and that was another turning point. And so I guess if people are feeling stuck at the moment, you know, and stuck in lockdown, or stuck because they are dealing with cancer, life changes. You know, it will change again. So that I chose one thing to kind of, because it's like that is life, isn't it? There will be lots of turning points where you have the option to move one way or the other. I'm not sure if it makes a difference which way you move, really. But I'm a person who needs to move. I'm no good at standing still. So I thought, you know, the thing that changed my life recently, and very dramatically, was a friend encouraged me, forced me really, to put a piece of work. Wasn't having no for an answer. It's a guy, and I think he's got Asperger's. When I said, no, I don't want to put a piece of work in to the Getty in London, he basically just did it for me. And that changed my life dramatically. So, you know, somebody who says, you have nothing to lose, like you're not going to look like an idiot. And I was saying, no, I'm not an artist. I'm not good enough. I haven't finished training. Loads of, you know, imposter syndrome issues. And so I put the piece of work into the Getty, and it was selected. And there were two women who hung on the wall. There was me and Jenny Lewis. To go and look at Jenny Lewis's work, she's done this fab project called One Day Young, about women who've had babies after the first day. And that changed my life, because I came home from London, and it was dead scary going to an opening in London. It's nothing like going to one up here. I mean, up here we don't have security on the door, and your invitation is a bit notional, so if you just want to walk in, it's fine. And people talk, but in London nobody talked to me. It was just really,
that's a north-south thing, I think.
it was just it's different art scene, you know. And so I came home, and I think 2 mornings later, I woke up and I was in the shower, and I just decided to leave my job, just like that, you know.
Oh my goodness.
So everybody was against that. So my whole family thought it was stupid. You know, why would you leave a job lecturing with regular money, pension, sick pay? And
I did that.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, but I like change. So to me, you know, that urge just to jump. And I ended up doing it alone, because I literally had no support. Friends and family were like, why don't you do both? You know, why don't you lecture full time and have a second career on top of it? And that's not how it works. And then I taught film and media. I just waited years and years and years, being a version of myself that pleased other people, I guess.
Yeah, and that's it, isn't it? And you taking that jump from even going for that, putting that entry into that competition. Yeah. It's that thing, isn't it? You don't know unless you try. And a lot of people are like, I mean, the way I always look at it is just 3 things. What's the worst that can happen? What's the best that can happen? And what probably will happen? And then make your decision. Now, all of those would have been a positive for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just like to, I constantly see in my head an image of me skydiving, and I'm never sure if I put the parachute on or not, but I quite like that though. It's quite exhilarating.
Living dangerously, taking chances.
Kind of, but it's what you know, as a woman. Oops, sorry, got my feet balanced on a basket. That didn't go too well. And I think as a woman, it's too easy to have imposter syndrome, isn't it? To think they put me on the wall because they felt sorry for me.
Yeah.
It was a fluke. It won't happen again. Yeah, like, and so
you do think all these things, don't you? But if there's any way you can put yourself down, you will, won't you?
But also, I mean, I had no idea if I had it, you know, that thing that would make my work good enough, creative enough to actually hang on a wall.
Yeah.
I mean, most of us, that just never happens to, does it? So I didn't think it was going to happen to me, and that was also quite realistic, you know. I thought I'd gone back to night school, so I was retraining, and I thought I'll be a commercial photographer, I'll do headshots, and I do. But actually what's really taken off is the artwork.
Wow.
So not what I expected at all.
So was it kind of all these events that you're saying helped you at all these different ages to turn you to be more empowered?
Yeah.
How would you say those events have changed the person you are to the person you are today? So what's the difference between how have they impacted you having gone through those things?
Resilience, I think. Yeah. So, and lots of therapy, because I'm quite open about the fact my childhood was very abusive. Sorry, I've left something big. Just let me turn that off for you.
That's okay.
It's my computer beeping. That should stop it. So
resilience is one.
Resilience.
Reaching out for help is another. What else would you say?
Find that harder, yeah. Reaching out for help. You know, one of my coping mechanisms is definitely to feel that I have to do everything by myself. and I've kind of changed that over the last 3 years since I've been freelance. I've got this kind of team around me of people working on the book.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think I tend to suffer with that a little bit, you know. I think I'm very much have to do everything myself. And I think that's just a control freak, a little bit of a control freak going on. But I think I'm starting to accept the fact that if I accept help and more people around me, then things get done much quicker. And it's just tweaking.
Yeah. No, with you, I agree. It's the control freak thing. I think it's the problem when, like, you set up your own organisation, your own baby, isn't it? With me, it's not so much the control freak thing as never actually having had a caretaker in my childhood. Yeah. So I find it kind of bizarre that other people might actually care for me and help me.
Yeah.
That's, because my childhood was severely abusive. I didn't have a single adult to look to. So when you're used to only looking to yourself, you have to learn how to look to others, really.
And trust others, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So what empowers you and drives you day to day now? What gets you out of bed and goes, right, today's going to be a good day?
It's just every day.
It's just ingrained in you now.
It's just genetic. I'm really driven. And you know what? If people are not driven, then I don't want them to listen to this and think, that I'm criticising people who work more slowly. But I'm like a maniac. I mean, I'm straight out of bed in the morning and all I'm thinking about is like images, and it carries on all day long. And I'm always pushing ahead for the next project, and the art world is very competitive. So there's that sense of competing, and it's like, I'm a woman, I'm in my 50s, so I haven't got long, and my God, I might be dead soon. I need to definitely get that next body of work out, and I've got to win an award, I've got to win a better award, so I've got a shortlist of Portrait of Britain, one Portrait of Britain, I'm off to something bigger next, and it's like, it's not always that healthy, to be honest.
No, do you think
that's my nature? It's not a virtue.
You see, I think I'm a little bit like that. You sort of put yourself on a time limit, but you're putting yourself on a time limit because of age. I'm putting myself on a time limit because of the cancer diagnosis. Do you know what I mean? So it's that kind of, is it going to come back? In the meantime, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that, and what else can I achieve? And it's like non-stop, like this. I think that's a little bit of the cancer baggage on my side of things. But do you think that things from your past has made you're trying to prove you can do this, you can do that, what else can I do? Do you think it's like an achievement kind of thing?
So I think I had imposter syndrome until I won Portrait of Britain in August. And then a friend said to me, and I have to try not to swear now, she basically said, it's time to give it up because you sound like a bleep idiot. Like, you can't keep saying this is a fluke, this is an accident, this is like, you need to deal with it. This is who you are an artist, you need to own it. And for me, it just felt like I got this rubber stamp that kind of said, that's actually who you are now. You're an artist. You need to deal with it.
Seeing you as that, you have got your work up on the wall in museums. You are an artist.
Yeah. And she's like, you're just starting to sound, pathetic and stupid when you're making excuses. Like, you need to change how you look at yourself. And God, we need friends who just tell it us straight, don't we? I do.
So do you think what's happened is you've been so busy trying to achieve, that friend's made you look back and see what you've achieved? And now that you've recognized that, it sounds like you're now extra driven to see, what else can I achieve? What else can I achieve? And that's your drive now. It's motivated you to get going, to see what else you can do, because you didn't actually believe you could do what you've done.
Yeah.
It's amazing, that.
Yeah. And you can do it at any age in your life.
Yeah.
Because just because you don't have the guts to do it right now doesn't mean that, you don't go back to night school and then change and take a risk.
Definitely.
And I like risk.
Yeah, definitely. So what's your favourite life quote? What gets you going through life? Have you got one?
Yeah, so I've got two for you. So on my Facebook, my personal page, it says, well-behaved women seldom make history. And I think it's...
I love that.
I think it was... I photographed someone's bag when they were standing in front of me in Manchester, and the name of the woman is underneath it. I think she's a Black activist. And then I think what I've always lived by is Simone de Beauvoir, the French philosopher, said that independence begins in the purse. And me, that I stand on my own 2 feet, and that making a living, even if as an artist you don't make much money, definitely, but it's that sense that I had to be able to fund my own practice, because that gives me so many choices in life, and I'm just not the kind of woman who could rely on a husband. I've got one, but again, it's a mark from childhood, isn't it? That feeling that I need to do this by myself.
It's control.
Learning. Well, also just, oh my God, people can let you down, I suppose.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how things can just sort of shape your future life? As in, like, you can get over things, you can get counselling, you can do things, maybe not get over things, but as long as you use those things to bounce back twice as strong, they can actually make you the person you are now. Do you know what I mean?
I think I'm kinder than bounce back twice as strong.
You have.
Do you need to be twice as strong? Or is it just, I don't think resilience is bouncing back. It's just keeping your fingernails in, isn't it? And clawing.
But it gives you more determination to achieve, don't you think?
Yeah, because having so little makes you want something, doesn't it? And what I want is self-worth, and what I want is a creative life. It's kind of a fantasy to be by myself working as an artist, commissioned by groups like Women's Aid or the NHS or Sam's Diamonds, funded by the Arts Council. It's like, it's a fantasy life. Yeah.
You're living it.
And right now I'm actually living it, and trying so hard during lockdown to just let go. It's so, the art world is so viciously competitive. I mean, at the moment I get invited to Zoom meetings, 3 or 4 a day, all on how to be a creative whilst you're on lockdown and produce your next body of work around your house so that you can win an enormous prize. And when lockdown ends, you can be, you can hit the ground running and you'll be ahead of the rest. And it's like, I just don't really listen to that.
Now is the time where you should be recouping and chilling out, because there's nothing else you can do, and maybe coming up with your own ideas, just thinking outside the box. What are people not doing? and then, you know, just keep it all to yourself and then go, bam, I'm here. And I'm not doing what all of you lot did on that podcast.
Well, I'm prepping the domestic abuse work, but that involves a lot of time to dream.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're not creative when you're under pressure. Pressure's the enemy.
Yeah.
Because pressure is always going to be driven by fear, isn't it? So, yeah. So I'm trying to get my head around that. But coronavirus hit my family hard with a very public death that happened early on as well. My father-in-law, and we have a cousin who's been on a ventilator for 4 weeks or so with coronavirus. I know. It's like, and my dad died 4 months ago, and that's just complicated. He wasn't, you know, a very nice person.
It's a triple whammy, this, isn't it?
I've done 4 funerals in 4 months. So I kind of feel like, oh God, do you know, I would never have stopped if it hadn't have been for the lockdown. And I don't like the lockdown. I don't think it's healthy, but I'm trying to get my head around how I could just use this as a time to pause a little bit. When I say pause, I'm still working because I can't stop working, but you know, take life a bit slower.
Would you not, sorry, this is me completely not have a clue on things, but I'll have a go anyway. Would you not try and document certain scenes of the coronavirus, because this is going to go down in history, isn't it? Your artwork would be historical then.
Everybody is doing it. It's really oversaturated. So my daughter and her boyfriend are living with me, and I've been photographing Henry, and you can look at some of those images on my Instagram, but I don't kind of feel that urgent need to document coronavirus. No, I mean, it would be different if I had PPE and I was photographing in a hospital, and then I'd want to, you know, then I'd have things that I did want to shoot. But I just don't want to go there. And to be honest, my next body of work will be the domestic abuse, and that's just going to grow, you know, because so if you look at this time last year and this time this year, 3 times more women have already been murdered within their homes.
Oh my goodness.
And so I kind of feel like I'm sitting on something that's personal and means a lot to me, because this was my parents' marriage. This is what I grew up witnessing. So I think I'm just going to sit on instead of flitting, you know, from one thing to the next. I'm sitting on that one thing that's special.
I think you'll get a lot out of that as well, won't you? When you do the healing that happens and stuff. And addressing things that are in your own head as well.
Yeah, so the trans work was personal as well. That's healing from childhood experiences. But when I'm photographing Henry, I'm just retesting out ideas in my own head, like, you know, do I need to shoot inside? Or when I'm working commercially, I do love shooting outside. I mean, it's fun. But I remember when I shot for you saying it's a closed set. Like, if I want that woman to feel safe, I have to be one-to-one with her, because I will make her feel safe.
And that worked as well. You're amazing.
Yeah, and so I was just testing out, like, is that still important to me with Henry? So I shot him outside, and it's a right laugh, but actually, photographically, it didn't work. So yes, I still need that very quiet time between me and the person I'm photographing.
I think that's the thing that gives them the most empowerment, as you say, because there's no distractions around. It's personally you and them, and you get to see the inside of that person, because all they can do is focus on you, isn't it?
Well, it's an invitation. So just because I'm in a room with someone doesn't mean that they're going to let go and let me glimpse their soul. I have to invite them to do it, and that's partly by how I present myself, you know. So will I also be prepared to be vulnerable in that moment? I don't, you know, there are ways that particularly male photographers work where they could photograph a nude and make her look vulnerable by bullying and I just don't like working like that. So it takes time. And I remember all the women said, no way am I going to take my clothes off, but within about a minute they all did.
Yeah. Do you find that with all the different types of shoots that you do, all the different types of people that you've shot, once you've shot them, do they find that, do they all say they found it empowering, or do they grow from it when they come out the other side?
Yeah, because if you actually, if you think of all your Instagram selfies, and they're all on heavy filters, and we tend to shoot a lot of selfies and then choose just one and pretend that was the, I just popped the selfie, when you're thinking, no, you didn't. You spent an hour doing your hair and makeup, and then you photographed
right.
40 times. Yeah. So if somebody says, why don't we remove all the artifice and look at the real you, it's quite frightening. But what if the real you ends up looking beautiful? I should have had a screen share on, actually, because I was thinking of the image of Wendy that we used on the front cover.
Yeah.
It's really raw. It's incredibly beautiful, and it kind of has that feeling of kind of Renaissance art to it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then if somebody looks inside of you and says that you're the real kind of beauty, the kind that's inside, that is always going to be empowering and a surprise, because we don't let people see that person that often, do we?
And when they do, and they call that beautiful, then there's no argument there, is there?
No. And the thing is, if you walked around life with no filter and no mask, you'd be an idiot, because not everyone's nice, and you should have those defences, shouldn't you? And we should adopt personas when we're in the workplace, or but it's quite different to drop that for a little while.
I agree. So if you came across, sorry, you say that last bit again, because your screen froze. Say that last bit again.
What was my last bit? Oh, that people become friends afterwards. They stay in touch.
Yeah. If you drop it and they see the true person,
Yeah. So even if we, largely in touch on Facebook, I chat to most of the diamonds who I photographed.
Yeah. Still in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and when Gillian died, that was awful for me.
Yeah.
Because I glimpsed into someone's soul, and afterwards she became very strong things to say about my imposter syndrome, which gave me a right bollocking.
Yeah, she's good like that.
yeah. Again, it's like when somebody lovingly gives you a big bollocking, it's it's really nice, because it's brave, isn't it, to say to someone, you need to get a grip.
She says it as it is. She said it as it is. That's the main thing with her. So if you came across somebody who just wasn't feeling empowered today, and didn't really wasn't feeling it at all, what would you say to them? Would you have a message for them?
Yeah, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's a triangle, and
right. 1 second, just let me pause this a second. 1 second.
Okay, so if you're not feeling empowered at the moment, I would say go and look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's like a pyramid structure, and at the bottom, the base, that's obviously the thick bit, and it's where he worked out that you just need things like food and shelter and basic safety. And at the moment, I'm not sure a lot of people have that. And if you don't, if you're anxious about life in the lockdown, if you're anxious about the virus, if you don't know where you're going to get any supermarket shopping because leaving the house is scary, then don't be empowered. Just kind of focus on the really basic things. And if you're at a different part of your life and you're good with all of that stuff, then you start moving up the hierarchy, and then you reach that point of self-actualization where your life can be creative, where you will feel empowered. But you don't feel empowered all day, every day. It's just about feeling empowered in moments. You know, people have to be kinder to themselves.
It's like small steps, isn't it? Small steps. If you're not feeling it, it's fine to not feel it. You don't have to feel it all the time. Maybe just have a day in bed and chill, you know, and watch Netflix or something. And then next step is do something small.
Yeah, and someone just commented on I put it on my Facebook page, and someone commented on it saying, and you know, some days it is baby steps that you should feel empowered about.
Yeah.
You know, if life is really, really hard, then you just feel empowered about a small thing, don't you? It's like, I cooked a healthy meal, that'll do for today.
Exactly, exactly. You know, everybody's different. You shouldn't compare yourself to other people either. You are you, and you are the only you there is on the planet, so you do it your way. So, do you know what I mean? If you need to sit down and do nothing all day, then that's what you need to do, so do it. You know, and it's just like small steps, like you say. The smallest thing can help. I think somebody on one of the previous interviews said it's like you're walking along and you fall down a ditch. You might need to sit there for a minute just to gather yourself together, and then small step, reach one arm up, next step, reach the other one up, and slowly climb back out of it, and you'll be able to carry on. But it will take a bit of work to do, and that's not a problem. Just small steps.
Or just enjoy your ditch.
Yeah, there's no rush to get out of it. If you just want to sit in it for a bit, do it, regain your strength, and then get out if you want to.
And I don't think life is very linear. You know, I think all day we have lots of ups and downs. So I wouldn't want people to kind of look at me and see, you know, Grace behind me and all the Arts Council funding, and see she won Portrait of Britain, and then think my life's perfect or easy, or that I have to achieve every single day. Yeah. Because that is not human kindness, is it? Yeah.
And I think a lot of people online, all they ever do is show their best bits.
I can't be doing with that. I mean, fair enough, you know, social media, I run a business. I'm aware of the need to make things look pretty nice. But no, I mean, if you know, I'd rather be honest.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But sometimes being honest means not blabbing on Facebook when you are feeling crap, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are those people who say, oh, I feel awful today and this isn't fair and I've had enough, and that's a comment because they just want the attention from it. But there's those who are like, my life's so perfect and I've got this and I've got that, and look what we're doing with the kids today and blah, blah. And it's like, but I know your kids have just been screaming mess before that picture. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It's just I think for me, I would say just focus on your life and make your life the life you want it to be, and not compare yourself to other people in any way, shape or form, because what you're comparing to is not real anyway.
No, unless you choose your friends carefully and the people you communicate genuinely with are real, you know. Yeah. And that's why we need friends, not just social media, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, it's been lovely chatting to you. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah.
You've got to say that though, haven't you?
Oh, because when people ask me to stop and talk about my work, it makes me reflect. You know, it's like, where am I now? And it is empowering to say, I won Portrait of Britain, and keep my face straight, because I've been cringing. You know, I've been kind of going, don't look at me.
You should be proud of yourself. You shouldn't be cringing now.
Of course we cringe, we're British.
Oh, well, I'm going to finish the interview there, so give everybody a wait, and thank you so much for coming on and talking to everybody. Appreciate it.